So, for my oral history interview, I chose to interview my sister. Her name is Jocelyn Smith. She was born in 1982 in San Francisco. So she's what does that make her? 41 years old. She's been around a little bit, so she got, a nice amount of knowledge um, under her belt. So I guess, what does it say here? One of the challenges I would say interviewing with my sister is that she's very smart, very opinionated, and sometimes she can talk a little long. So I was a little nervous about if she may have may sway off topic or so on and so forth, or just give on run on answers. But that didn't happen. And also, I was surprised by one comment, opinion she had made regarding cultural representation. You'll see shortly in a little bit. So, what I wanted to know is, my sister's viewpoint on these different topics that we've covered, through the chapters in the reading, because that's a lot of times in life, in everyday conversation or whatever, even if you haven't seen somebody in a while, you're not going to talk about like the early days of ethnic studies or cultural representation, internalized oppression. Those aren't like common topics. So I was really interested to see my sister's viewpoint. And also, different experiences as well. Growing up, as a African American woman, my sister is considered to be dark skinned. So, she's dealt with, different things in her life that, of course, I probably don't know nothing about. So those were some of the, things I was interested in learning. So hopefully you can learn something too from this interview. Y'all check it out. Peace. Okay, so let's get into it. First question has to do with the early days of ethnic studies. That started back in the 1960s, and now finally it's mandatory in colleges and high school. So, how do you think ethnic studies could have affected your youth?
I think it would have hopefully positively affected others around me and allowed for maybe perhaps a different environment, different opportunities in myself. Could have maybe hopefully helped me to see different opportunities or motivated me understanding the world a little bit better, may have changed my perspective in as far as my goals.
Good answer. So second question, cultural representation. And so have you ever been labeled with a negative stereotype such as like the hoochie or the black lady or that strong independent woman who don't need a man? And if you did, how did you respond?
Sometimes the words are used, if not definitely how people have treated you. You can pick up what they're assuming about you. You may have said one thing even in a joking manner or slightly close to what they think they're seeing from you based off what they've been told and exposed to. And it is definitely offensive. How I've responded to it is sometimes maybe when I was younger, snap at the person or just stay away from them. But it's definitely offensive, and it usually comes from a very small truth that's actually positive, but just taken down the negative road and just dramatized and exaggerated to no end.
Third question, internalized oppression. So have you ever fell victim to this type of oppression? Why or why not?
I have been victim to it, but as far as how it affected me, I'll be very honest, it should have probably affected me negatively. To be a harsh, bitter person, maybe low self-esteem, but I'm the complete opposite. I'm not sure if it was positive reinforcements from family, just knowing what people were telling me was wrong. Not quite sure. That's probably an interview in itself. But what it did do is I definitely was aware of how people saw me. So maybe it made me maybe self-conscious. But other than that, I can honestly say I wasn't negatively affected as far as being a hateful person, spiteful person, or low self-esteem.
That's good. That's great. Last question. We got about 20 seconds. Unequal education. Compared from when you was in school to now with you being involved with your nephews, what would you say about the quality of it? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? What did you say? 15 seconds.
Is declining across the board. Now is it no longer racial? It is economical across the board, It's just degraded. It's become a way for the country also to make money. It's in a very bad place.
Right on time and right on point. Very true. I wish we had more time, but thank you for doing this interview, and hopefully I get an A. So
Okay.
thanks, guys.
You're welcome.